What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I've been kind of hard on Top Rank, and that's simply because they started off the year strong and they really subsided. They had some great fights at the very beginning. You had Mike Garcia, Orlando Salido. They had Brandon Rios, Alvarado Part 2, the rematch. They had Timothy Bradley versus Ruslan Provodniko, which at the moment I believe is still my candidate for Fight of the Year, and that's based on how competitive it was. There's other great fights, but a lot of them were good one-sided fights or just good fights in spots. Um, like the John Molina Mickey Bay fight, that was fairly one-sided until the last ending part where John Molina won in the 12th round. Zab Judah versus Danny Garcia, another good fight, but it was pretty one-sided until those championship rounds, that kind of thing. So as far as a competitive fight, I think Timothy Bradley and Ruslan is still my fight to beat in terms of the fight of the year. Um, and that's just my personal taste. But anyway, it looks like Top Rank is coming strong. They have a lot of great fights lined up. They have a Mikey Garcia. He's returning at 130 to fight Rocky Martinez, and that should be a good fight. They also have Juan Manuel Marquez and Timothy Bradley. That's coming up next week. And another fight that I'm really excited for. I'm actually ecstatic. It's surprising to me more people aren't talking about this fight, and that's Ruslan Provodnikov and Mike Alvarado. Now, I'm so excited. I did a matchup, so if you guys follow my channel, you know what those are. If not, type in Egos the matchup. It's one of the most recent videos that I've done in response to this video. So take a look at that if you haven't seen it. It's where I kind of do my tale of the tape and add some theatrics and that kind of thing. But I'm really looking forward to this fight. Not too many people are talking about it, and I came across a quote from Ruslan Provodnikov, which it blew my mind, and I had to share it with you guys. So this is what Provodnikov told HBO. It's not going to be about technique. It's simply war. It's just going to be a street fight. I promise you that. I'm not afraid to lose. For Mike to win the fight, he has to knock me out. There's no other way. I will go to the church and light a candle for Mike. I'm going to pray that he doesn't get hurt during the fight. Now, to me, that's scary. I don't know if you guys have ever been in a street fight, if you've ever seen a street fight, anything like that. But a lot of times in street fights, and some of you guys are, why is he talking about this on a boxing channel? I'm telling you this, just follow me. In a street fight, sometimes people are all bark, no bite, and they talk a good game, and then they're the ones that get knocked out and that kind of stuff. But then you also have the opposite of that, the people that don't really say shit, and they're the silent killer type. That is a comment that would worry me if I was Alvarado's camp. He doesn't say anything over the top like Adrian Broner or something. And I'm not saying Adrian Broner's not good, but Adrian Broner is going to be, I make it look easy, easy work, easy. AB, he's gonna get an ass beaten, and then he fights Paulie Malignaggi, and it doesn't necessarily live up to an ass beating. He did good. He jumped up 2 weight classes. You haven't given props, but the way he depicted it prior to the fight and what actually happened and transpired, it was a pretty competitive fight. But then, like I said, when people make these comments like this, that worries me because he's not too boastful. He said it's simply war. It's going to be a street fight. I promise you that. I'm not afraid to lose. He just sounds very, doesn't sound cocky or anything. He just sounds like straight to the point. So this is going to be an interesting fight to me. Mike Alvarado definitely had a tough time with Brandon Rios. Brandon Rios was also a fighter who came up in weight. We've seen Ruslan can do damage even at 147 against a guy like Timothy Bradley, who had to flex his chin and show how good his chin really was because he was hurt. And that was at 147. I believe this fight is taking place at 140, if I'm not mistaken, where Alvarado was fighting. So we know the guy can hit and hurt a good welterweight, somebody like Timothy Bradley. So him going back down to weight, if he can make the weight okay, this is going to be an interesting fight. I don't think Ruslan is as good with cutting off the ring as Brandon Rios per se, but arguably he hits harder. And I say arguably because I've never gone in the ring with both of them, so I don't really know who hits harder. And it's kind of where the punches hit you and how they land and that kind of stuff. So there's more to it. But just from the eye test, it looks like Ruslan might have more crack than Brandon Rios. especially since Rios probably wasn't even fully acclimated to the weight division, since the fights with Alvarado were his first two fights, his first pair of fights at 140. So he didn't really even have time to settle in to the weight division. He didn't take like a tune-up fight at 140 and then fight Alvarado. So just given the fact that Provodnikov is bigger and has been fighting at the bigger weights, and he went up in weight, I would say he has more crack at the moment, at least. So this is a really interesting fight, and like I said, that's a cold-blooded comment to make to your opponent. That kind of reminds me, especially since he's Russian, reminds me of Rocky IV, how cold-hearted Ivan Drago was. If he dies, he dies. I must break you. You will lose. That's my movie. Drago! Anyway, let me know what you guys think. That's really all I had to tell you is this fucking comment from Provodnikov. He says, I don't know, maybe you guys didn't understand what I said. I will go to the church and light a candle for Mike. I'm going to pray that he doesn't get hurt in the fight. Now, anytime a motherfucker prays for you when they're fighting, I don't know. That's kind of like when Tyson used to beat people's ass. He would knock them out, then he would help them up and kiss them on the cheek. Like, that's some sadistic shit. Like, I'm going to hurt you, but I'm also going to be praying for you. I don't know. That's crazy. Maybe I'm making more of it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego. Signing off.